What is the threshold for mash? Dude, that's the hard part. See, Matt, something about high-level Tekken that's important to remember when you're playing against someone good is that very rarely are you going to be playing someone and they're going to be playing turn-based Tekken with you, right? That's the thing that scrubs do when they're playing Tekken. They just hit buttons whenever it's their turn and they just give up their turn after everything. Okay? But that's ass. Playing turn-based Tekken is ass. And the reason that playing turn-based Tekken is ass is because you can't mash if you play turn-based Tekken. If you play turn-based Tekken, you can't mash. You know why? Because if you play turn-based Tekken, you have no threat of timing. You have no threat of timing. So chat, we're doing Teaching Tekken Thursday. So tell me what's scarier, okay? Option A, okay? You're playing against a Heihachi player. He's doing forward 4. Every time he does forward 4, he either follows up with a jab, a DF1, you know, another forward 4, a hell sweep. He's always attacking after his forward 4. That's option A, okay? Or you're playing against a Heihachi player that's doing forward 4 and is just sitting there, or he's moving, or he's slightly delaying his button. Like that, not that move, like this. Like that move. Forward 2-3, trying to do forward 2-3. Which one is scarier, option A or option B? The Heihachi player that you know is going to always press a button on the same timing, or the Heihachi player that you don't even know if he's going to press a button at all. Which is scarier, option A or option B? Obviously, it's option B. So, chat, why is option B scarier than option A? Can someone tell me why option B is scarier than option A? Yes, exactly. It's unpredictable, right? So let's say I'm playing Brian, okay? I'm playing Brian, and I'm doing, like, Brian back 1, right? So we all know about Brian back 1, right? It's plus, right? But Brian, historically, has been known as a character that doesn't really have great frame traps. So, again, what's scarier? The Brian player that's doing back 1 into jab, DF2, down back 3 all the time, or the Brian player that's doing back 1, delay, 3+4, back 1, delay, mock kick, back 1, then he's doing some immediate timing buttons. And I'll tell you what the big difference is. The big difference between these two players, the Brian player and the Heihachi player, is that the option B for both of them, they are thinking about their timing actively. So they are doing both. They are pressing on immediate timing, and they are pressing on delay timing and not pressing at all. Whereas option A is always playing that turn-based Tekken, pressing a button, doing something on the same timing every time. When you have to think about both, it's actually really fucking scary to play against. Because you don't know if the Brian player is going to catch your mashing ass with a 1-2-1. You don't know if he's going to move around your mash, mock kick you, do anything to stop you from moving. You have no idea. If I'm playing against a Brian player, he's just doing back 1 into button. Okay, like, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. It's not scary. I'm never going to get counter hit. I'm just sitting there. I'm fine. But the Brian player that's actually changing their timing is scary. Because you don't know if he's going to press on immediate timing, or if he's going to delay and do some shit to you and fuck you up. Important to incorporate both? Yes, it is. That's why I just said. Exactly what I just said. It is very important to incorporate both. Because, again, you don't want to be one or the other. Now, again, the Brian players that just do back 1 into sidestep and they think they're good, they're also ass. You know why? Because they don't even know what they're doing. There's no threat. There's nothing. They're just sitting there and they're throwing their counter hit button out. They're moving, they're done, like, there's nothing. So you need to do both. You need to be aggressive, but not predictable, and you need to be defensive but not passive. So when you do both, you're scary. Yo, Flash, thank you for the sub, bro. Azzy, thanks for the follow. So does everyone understand what I'm saying, right? Obviously, it's scarier for a person to be changing their timing a lot. So when we have this in mind, this is how most high-level players are going to play the game, okay? So they're going to be changing their timing on almost every other attack. You don't know when they're going to hit you. That's why mashing is good versus high-level players. Because I do 1-2-1 with Brian. I'm -6, okay? Let's say I'm playing against a Heihachi player, and he's like, okay, you know, I'm going to take my turn after a delay. I don't want to play turn-based Tekken, right? So, you know, I'll be the Heihachi player for this example. And this will be the Brian player. So, I'm out here playing solid, you know. I'm like, okay, you know, I've blocked all his 1-2-1s, and he's not doing anything, right? He's just, you know, chilling there. You know, he's blocking, he's playing solid. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in with, like, a delayed DF1. BAM! Dead. You fucking died. Because you're not stupid. You're not playing turn-based Tekken. You died. But sometimes you have to play turn-based Tekken. So, you know. There are times where you take your turn immediately. There are times where you don't. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, but the idea is that you want to do both. That's why mashing is good. Mashing is good because if you're playing against someone that's a high-level player, they're not going to check you for mashing every single time you're minus. That's scrub shit. So mashing works. Mashing actually works more the better players that you fight. Does that make sense? Because there's more timing layers in play. I can do more things. I can do more things. That's why mashing is good at a high level. So if you watch Jimmy play, Jimmy does shit like this all the time. 1-2-1 into 1-2-1, 1-2-1 into FF4, 1-2-1 into fucking, or he does DF2-1 into 1-2-1. Like, this dude is a fucking masher. He's a fucking masher. And he mashes smart as fuck. That's why it works. Because he's a smart-ass Tekken player.